Luke 3, verse 9. And now also the axe is laid unto the root of the trees. Every tree, therefore, which bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. So, is this teaching work salvation? Obviously not. The Bible is never teaching work salvation. The first thing to understand here is when the Bible talks about fruit, it is talking about conversions. It's talking about bringing people unto repentance. There are many verses that demonstrate this, and I'll have to largely address those at other times. One thing to bear in mind, just as it relates to this verse though, is at no point are believers cautioned about bringing forth bad fruit. Believers are cautioned about not being fruitful in general, and the reason why is because if you are a believer, you should be producing fruit. You should be winning other people to Christ. But in the case of false religions, the concern isn't that they aren't fruitful. They might win lots of conversions. The problem is it will be bad fruit. It will be unto false gospels. And in this verse, like I said, John is not talking to Christian believers. Instead, he is talking to the Jewish religious authorities at the time. So this is the Talmudic Judaism, which is in opposition to biblical Judaism, and it is the Judaism that we still see practiced by Jews today. Somebody who converts to Judaism is not saved. That is not good fruit. And that's why it specifies the problem with the Pharisees and the Sadducees is not that they are failing to bring forth fruit, but that they are failing to bring forth good fruit. So just three quick things to make it clear what this verse is actually talking about. Firstly, he says that the axe is laid to the root of the tree. And this is what makes it obvious. We're talking about belief systems here. We're talking about ideologies. Because if you're a bad person, even if you're an unbelieving person, does God attack you at the root? No, the root would be like your origin, and of course, everybody is born loved by God. Indeed, babies haven't sinned, so they automatically go to heaven. There's just not an obvious sense in which we could talk about the root of an individual being attacked by John's ministry. And in any debate, if you're attacking an idea, you want to identify the root cause of the misunderstanding and tackle that directly. This root imagery also gets to the fact he's talking about trees. Now, trees have branches. They are old, usually lasting longer than a human lifetime. Religions have branches. So again, that's just another small indication he's talking about a belief system rather than individuals. And when he's talking about religions being hewn down and cast into the fire, he's talking about them being destroyed. And of course, we know that the Jewish temple was destroyed because they rejected Jesus. John's ministry was all about preparing the way for Jesus. And then, of course, Jesus brought his own ministry. And all of this was about rejecting what the Jewish religious leaders at the time were teaching. And that's why at this exact moment of transition, we get this reference to how trees that fail to bring forth good fruit are being replaced with trees that do bring forth good fruit. A religious system and churches that are about actually winning people to Christ and getting people saved.